So what do you think? Are we ever going to run out of myths?
No way, dude. We are still finding great material from the most common sources imaginable.
Like what?
The common cold, specifically the sneeze, which supposedly leaves your mouth at 100 miles an hour and can travel up to 30 feet, spreading your germs. I think both of those are claims we could put to the test.
And sneezing's not the only thing you have to worry about. I mean, if you've got a cold, you touch your face, then you touch something else, and before you know it, you got nasal secretions all over the place.
Meaning you could supposedly catch a cold from someone without having any physical contact with them whatsoever. Common cold myths, let's do it.
Okay.
Achoo!
That's 2 feverish fables to tackle. First up, the physics of a sneeze. Does snot really rocket at speeds of 100 miles per hour and spread disease over 30 feet?
Let's start with the sneeze. How do you want to tackle it?
That one's pretty straightforward to me. I mean, a sneeze is supposed to travel at 100 miles an hour. Let's test it by firing up the high-speed camera and using a little math.
What about distance?
Distance is a little tougher. I mean, we're gonna have to be tracking what have to be freaking tiny droplets of liquid up to 30 feet away.
I've got some ideas about that. You worry about inducing a sneeze, and I'll worry about measuring it.
Fair enough, all right.
According to public safety announcements through the ages, the power of the sneeze is potent.
Remember, sneezes can travel at over 100 miles per hour and spread contagion over 30 feet.
But are those formidable figures really true? To find out, first they'll clock the speed of a sneeze on a high-speed camera and then track its distance. So for that, Adam creates a sneeze shooting range.
Oh, hey, check it out.
Wow, I think that's the biggest and fanciest gauge we've made.
Yep, well, 30 feet, supposed distance that a sneeze can travel.
Looks like it ought to be up to snuff.
And speaking of snuff, Adam's got just the stuff.
How are we gonna sneeze? Well, if you remember the sneezing with your eyes open episode, it's actually caused us some real difficulty. However, we have found a foolproof method for this episode, and that is tobacco snuff.
The snuff will work to irritate the mucosa at the back of Adam's nose, which will bring on a semi-autonomous convulsive expulsion of air from the lungs through the nose and mouth. Achoo! Or a sneeze.
A little snuff for science. There we go. And another one. No! For good measure. Woo! Achoo! Oh, that is nasty.
Nasty. And captured by the high-speed camera at a stomach-churning 3,000 frames per second.
And that stuff's made to snort, huh?
It is. I have no idea why anyone would do it recreationally.
Well, let's see how fast it went.
Okay.
By counting the number of frames it takes a snot droplet to travel 1 foot, they work out the speed of Adam's sneeze.
Oh, wow. You know what? Watching it go backwards is really pretty sickening. Okay. 51 feet per second times 0.68 equals 35 miles per hour. That's not 100 miles an hour.
That's nowhere close to 100 miles an hour. I should have a go.
All right. Watch for the stash.
35 miles per hour is certainly not the mythical 100. So Jamie steps up. Once again, the snuff squeezes a sneeze, but will it be faster?
Oh, look at that stash. Like Indiana farmland in the breeze, isn't it?
Getting quite poetic here, aren't we?
Well, this is the subject matter. 57 feet per second times 0.68 equals 39 miles per hour.
Still nowhere near 100, huh?
No, you busted out. You beat me in the speed department, but it's nowhere close to the myth. Well, apparently I sneeze at 35 miles per hour and the Hyneman sneezes at 39 miles per hour. Neither of those is remotely close to 100 miles an hour. So that myth, I think, is pretty busted. Now we're on to distance. Does a sneeze really travel 30 feet? And I think Mr. Hyneman already has some ideas about how to track that.
When Adam sneezes, we need to see how far the stuff that comes out of his nose travels. And so to do that, I'm gonna add this cherry-flavored red kids drink mix to the snuff that he inhales, and when he sneezes, hopefully we'll see little red dots on this lovely strip of white paper.
This time, Adam's sneeze should leave a telltale trail of cherry-colored tracks.
Oh. Oh, it's irritating and sweet and fruity. Oh, it's happening. Achoo!
Gesundheit. And now to check the distance.
I don't see any red flecks.
Unfortunately, Adam's fruity sneeze hasn't left a mark. But as always, there's a solution.
We have a new plan. The new plan is rather than snort any more colored things, I'm going to go back to the snuff, but just before I sneeze, I'm going to spray some uncut food dye into my mouth. Yeah, that ought to show up.
Adam takes a snort of snuff and a swig of food coloring.
Oh, God, it looks like a murder scene here.
That time around, the sneeze went quite literally with flying colors.
We got one out here at 17 feet. That's not bad.
No, you're halfway there, over halfway. But I think that's about it.
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
I think I need to then try again. We're making modern art as well as some science.
Adam can't leave it at 17 feet. He's going for a second distance attempt, but this time in a less gory blue.
Nice. You're getting a good spread, but you need to work on your distance.
Okay, coach. Well, I'm clearly hitting a hard line at 17 feet. You want to see if you can do better?
With Adam not even reaching 60% of the mythical distance, Jamie's next up for the sneeze gallery, and he'll be sneezing in green.
I think that's all I got.
All right, why don't you go get cleaned up?
Unfortunately, Captain Greenbeard's sneeze also didn't go the distance. And you can't help thinking it has something to do with his mustache.
Nope, looks like Jamie maxed out right here at 13 feet.
I got 13 feet of travel out of my sneeze, and Adam got 17 feet. It's not 30, but it's an awful long ways.
So where does that leave the mythical sneeze?
The myth says that a sneeze could travel up to 30 feet, and our sneezes didn't get anywhere close to that. They got to 17 feet and stopped.
It's still pretty far, but I guess that means...
It's busted.
Yeah.
Stand back, because it's time for some mucus mayhem.
Nasal secretions. The myth that someone who's got a cold is spreading their secretions everywhere, far and wide, and that they're impossible to avoid.
Well, the first thing we need to do is to figure out how to make nasal secretions we can track.
And we need a situation we can track them in.
Okay, well, I guess I need to go talk to an expert about nasal secretions.
I guess you do.
According to the myth, just by being near someone with a runny nose, you'll end up contaminated by their snotty secretions. But can a running nose really scatter snot on more than just its owner? To test that, they'll need a group of party people, a nose running rig, and a nasal secretion substitute. But before they start spreading the snot, Jamie needs to know just how much a running nose really runs.
Come in.
Hello, doctor.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You too.
Luckily, Dr. Andrea Young is just the person to ask.
So what would you consider a normal rate of flow when you have a cold?
If you think about your sinuses just in general, in terms of the amount of fluid that you could potentially hold, we would expect that that volume would be somewhere in the order of about 60 cc's or 60 milliliters to come out in about an hour.
And how exactly does that 60 mils transfer its viral payload?
secretions kind of get passed to the hand. That hand then goes into your mouth, into your nose, or into your conjunctiva, or sort of the lining of the eyes, and then again gets brought into your system.
It's exactly that spread that the MythBusters will test. And now Jamie knows how a nose runs.
Now that I have my flow rate, I can build a nasal drip rig to simulate a runny nose. It has to be compact, it has to be very accurate, and I have to be able to conceal it. And there we are, it's doing it by itself.
Just a syringe and some tubing later, and Jamie has a dribbling drip rig. Now all he needs is a willing volunteer to give it a dry run.
You look totally like you've got a cold just from your mannerisms. You know, like, I don't feel good.
It feels like I've got a cold. It's just as annoying.
Makes me feel like I want to stand apart from you so I don't catch it.
Well, you don't want to get to the red dye. That's what you don't want.
That's funny.
We're about to investigate how far and wide my nasal secretions may travel if I had a cold. Now, I don't have a cold. We're going to achieve my cold by Jamie giving me a mechanical cold, which is a drip rig that will be strapped to my face and slowly dripping a fluorescing fluid.
Jamie has carefully selected a non-toxic fluorescent dye that's invisible to the naked eye, but will glow orange under a black light. To ensure there is no cross-contamination, he first checks the table.
Okay, the space is clean, and I don't see any marks on you. I think we're good to go.
Then Jamie starts the nasal drip and leaves Adam to some modeling.
I'm ready to start constructing. I'll start the timer now.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Remember, they're testing to see if Adam's pseudo-snot will spread far and wide. And after an hour of building, gluing, and wiping, 60 milliliters of fluid has dripped through the nose rig.
Okay, so time's up. We get to see how far your nasal secretions went.
Excellent. All right, let's do it. Da, da, da. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is, wait, look at my face. That's disgusting. Am I like just covered with it?
You are.
The table, the plane, and Adam are lit up like a dance party with a trail of snot or neon dye on everything Adam has touched.
Well, we set out to construct an experiment whereby we could track my nasal secretions, and I have to say, I think we've done stunningly. They seem to have gotten absolutely everywhere. Everything on this table has a little touch of orange on it. That's the name of my cover band, Touch of Orange.
Obviously, Adam's pseudo-snot got everywhere, which is amazing given that it was coming out a tiny droplet at a time. But what does this mean as far as transmitting a cold virus or a flu? Well, to find that out, we've got to introduce people. And so that's what we're going to do next.
Yep, next, the MythBusters will track the spread of snot by partying in the name of science. If someone nearby has a runny nose, can they spread their snot to you just by being close? To find out, the MythBusters are throwing a party.
Soon, I will have 6 guests, or as I like to call them, test subjects, having a party with me under test conditions. These conditions are, 3 of my guests are going to behave as germaphobes. 3 of my guests have no idea what's happening. I will be spreading my nasal secretions far and wide while performing a series of normal party-like tasks. Cake, toasts, games, what have you. At the end of all of this, we're gonna flick out the lights, turn on the ultraviolet lights, and see how far I've been able to spread my secretions. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get into makeup.
So as not to reveal what's being tested to our guest guinea pigs, special effects artist Danny gives Adam a nose job.
Oh, it's just a little bit restrictive, but not bad. Hell of a lot better than the Band-Aid.
With Adam in the chair, Jamie prepares our 3 germaphobe guests.
Welcome to the party.
Thank you.
So this is how this is going to work. Adam has a cold, and your job is not to get that cold. You still have to stay here, you can't just leave, but you don't want to catch his cold.
All right, sounds good.
Gross.
Carrie, Grant, and Tori will try their germaphobe best not to pick up Adam's nasal secretions. However, the control group, the remaining 3 guests, will have no idea Adam is even secreting.
Hello, Pearl, nice to meet you.
Adam just wiped his nose, and now he's shaking hands. That stuff's getting everywhere.
While Jamie tracks the contamination, Adam's rig will drip at exactly the rate a human nose runs, 60 milliliters an hour.
Oh, we're gonna have a fun little party here. Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I've got a little bit of a stuffy nose, but this should all be very cool. We're gonna have some cake, we're gonna have a couple of games, and little, well, not actual champagne, but some bubbly.
Remember, the goal is to find out if Adam will pass on his pseudo-secretions to his guests through the normal activity of a party.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for participating in my little science experiment
True
here.
sport.
And just like any host with a runny nose, Adam's using a handkerchief.
Cake, yes?
Yeah.
You want a big slice or a little slice?
But it soon becomes clear that the same hand he uses to wipe his nose is also passing everything to his guests.
So we're getting some good contact here. We've got him handling the plates, the forks, those are being passed over. With any luck, each one of those has been marked.
Although our trio of germaphobes keep an eye on exactly what Adam's touching, the unprepared guests have no idea what's being passed around.
Okay, it looks like as he's pouring, he's touching them on the shoulder, so each one of those is a mark.
There ain't no party like a MythBusters party.
That's a good roll.
And although the good times and the dice roll,
I definitely lost.
eventually the fun must come to an end.
Thanks again.
Tori.
Celebrating you.
Thank you so much for coming. Really?
But of course, our test subjects are still in the dark. And the moment has come for the big, snotty reveal.
What was going on was that I had a mechanical runny nose. I had a little tube running down the side of my nose, dripping a fluorescing fluid. The goal was to see how far my nasal secretions might travel if I had a cold and who might get those on them. To give you an idea about how much it spread on me alone, normally my skin would not fluoresce under black light. Are you ready?
Adam may look like a radioactive clown, but has he spread his radioactive red snot? First off, the unknowing guest guinea pigs.
Leah, let's see those hands. Hold them up into the light. Oh, yeah.
They all bear the telltale signs of contamination. But what about our germaphobe trio? Despite their best efforts, Grant and Tori couldn't escape the neon.
Grant, let's see those
I couldn't
hands.
avoid shaking your hand.
Tori. Oh, Tori. You got it.
Did
you got it on your
we
face
sneak
here.
off somewhere?
Tori has even ended up with snot on his face. Carrie, however, is a different story.
I have to confess, I'm actually a germaphobe, so this was not too hard for me, and I am not surprised I did this well.
Nice. Wow, incredible. So how many of us got colds?
I'd say 5 out of the 6 of you have been legitimately exposed with only a 30-minute dinner party and 1 typhoid Mary.
So even though I knew Adam had a fake cold, I was still kind of grossed out by the idea. So I kind of employed all of my usual techniques not to get sick. I didn't touch anything or anywhere that he touched. When he handed me something, I wiped it off with my napkin.
Practiced hygiene fiend Carrie managed to avoid contact. But for her colleagues, social convention made it a lot harder.
He's trying to be this gracious host, and he's filling up my glass, he's handing me pretzels, and I'm trying to be polite and avoid anything that he's touching. But I mean, at a certain point, you can't help it anymore.
Right at the very end of dinner, as we were saying our goodbyes, Adam stuck out his hand, and I had to shake it. And you know what? If someone sticks out their hand, you can't avoid shaking it. And that is where he got me.
With 5 out of 6 guests infected and a dinner table that's more neon than not, where does this leave the myth?
It's really impressive to me that viruses have found the one place on the human body not only capable of producing enough fluid, but doing it in such a way that human hands are inclined to mop that fluid up. And then they can spread themselves and propagate really quickly.
Look around me. Look at how far and wide my secretions have spread to everywhere on this table. Next time you think you've got an innocuous runny nose, think again.
Think again, indeed. But that isn't the end of this snot-spreading saga. Adam and Jamie have proved a runny nose will eventually catch up to you.
So what did we learn from that test? We learned that if you're around someone who's infected and you're not expending any energy to keep their germs from getting on you, you're gonna get their germs on you. And for our germaphobes, the situation wasn't much prettier. 2 out of our 3 germaphobes were covered with this stuff. Where does that leave us? Well, we wondered, suppose the person who's spreading the germs is acting more responsibly. Suppose they're trying to keep others from being infected. That's what we're gonna test next. We've set up this whole space again, totally clean. I haven't touched anything here. I will have the same drip rig going on, dripping at the same rate, except I'm going to be trying to keep my germs from spreading to any parts of this table and any of my guests. Let's see how I do.
So the MythBusters will repeat the nasal secretions test.
Hello. Hello, good to see you.
With 2 vital differences. Adam will do everything he can not to spread his pseudo-snot. And we've got a new set of blissfully unaware test subjects.
But I gotta warn you, I've got a little bit of a cold, so let's do elbow greet. How are you? How are you?
But will modifying his behavior decrease the chances of contamination?
He's not shaking hands, he's bumping elbows.
Jasmine?
Despite the fact that his nose is still dripping at 60 mils per hour, Adam is doing all he can to limit his hand-to-hand contact with his guests.
This is going to be really hard for Adam, even though he knows he's supposed to reduce the amount of spread. He's going to have a hard time.
And Tori, if you would take this and hand out a sheet to everybody. Dana, if you would pass these pens to your right, I'm gonna make sure everyone gets a pen. We're gonna play a game called Dictionary.
But as well as avoiding direct contact with his guests, Adam's also avoiding indirect contact by enlisting their help.
Dana, will you hand out the glasses for me, please?
At this point, it looks like he's doing pretty well because the only thing that's actually been passed around person to person has been the paper notes. The glasses, the bottle, even meeting everybody in the beginning didn't involve any kind of contact at all.
And once again, the 30 minutes seems to fly by, until it's time to bring in the bouncer.
All right then, so everybody's had some cake, some champagne, you played a couple games, lovely party. Time to call it quits.
Jamie says it's time to go, it's time to go.
Wow, what
God,
a buzz.
right?
That's it.
Dad's home, we have to go.
All right, really a pleasure to see you. Jasmine, elbow, excellent.
As fond farewells go, the elbow bump is unconventional, but it does prevent Adam from secreting onto his guests.
I love you
Gentle,
guys. Let me
please.
fight on that show.
And with that, the test is over. But has Adam kept his snot to himself?
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see your hands. You're clean. You're clean?
Well, the result is spelled out in no neon light.
Clean. Clean. Good job, Adam.
In stark contrast to the previous test, amazingly, Adam has not infected a single guest.
Now, the first test, Adam was touching every single thing on the table. And as a result, everybody got sick except for Carrie. But on the second test, it was obvious he changed his behavior and he was trying not to touch anything. And as a result of that test, nobody got infected.
I gotta say, that was totally amazing. Just by a simple change of technique, you can prevent everyone at the party from getting sick.
Let's recap. The myth that if you're sick, your nasal secretions will go everywhere.
Confirmed.
And the ability as an innocent bystander for one to avoid those secretions.
Not impossible, but very difficult.
So what have we concluded is the best way to prevent the spread?
Well, if you're sick, you need to take some personal responsibility.
Absolutely right. This has been a public service announcement from Jamie and Adam at MythBusters.